And I'm trying to be strict about go to bed at bedtime, like when I put them down, not do work, because otherwise I get
Mm-hmm.
all revved up into work and I'm so
Mm-hmm.
excited and I'm up until midnight doing work. And then I'm like, ooh, now I'm up at, 5, 6 a.m.
Hello, Blue Jays, and welcome to The Nest, Stories about Life After Manor College. I am your host, Kelly Pfeiffer, Vice President of Marketing Communications, and this is the best part of my day. My hope is that this podcast will encourage, inform, and inspire you, making you feel like at Manor College you belong here always. Before we get to today's guest, it is time for a segment of the show we like to call Did You Know?, where we will share a fun fact about Manor College that you may or may not know. Did you know that Manor College will feature a new EMT certification program on campus this fall? On July 28th, Manor College and VMSC Emergency Medical Services, based out in Lansdale, signed an agreement to create a program. This hybrid program will allow students to study at their own pace while working towards national and state certification in EMT. Shane Wheeler, the CEO of VMSC, said that the organization wanted to work with a college that understood the value of an EMS education and was willing to create a pathway for working professionals. He said that Manor shares our commitment to accessibility, community service, and helping students build upon the experience they already have. That shared vision made Manor an ideal partner. For more information on this partnership, and if you are interested in learning more about how to become an EMT and get certified, visit Manor website at www.manor.edu. Today's episode is sponsored by the Manor College Bird Feed. Did you know that some Manor College students struggle with food insecurities? Manor College is proud to be an official PA hunger-free campus. Our Bird Feed food pantry provides a vital lifeline, offering non-perishable food and toiletry items to those in need. But we can't do it without you. Your donations of canned goods, dry goods, or financial contributions help us stock the shelves and ensure no one on our campus goes hungry. Help us prepare for the upcoming semester and learn that you can help today by visiting manor.edu/birdfeed. That's manor.edu/birdfeed. Today's guest, hailing from right here in Willow Grove, Pennsylvania, and an alumni of the Academy of the New Church, our guest arrived at Manor College with some big goals. To say she got involved on campus would be an understatement, but during her time at Manor, she didn't just join clubs, she practically ran student life. She was highly involved in 10 different organizations, including serving as president of the Student Senate, 2 honor societies, Model UN, Passion for Fashion, and so much more. After graduating in 2015 with her associate's degree in business management, she transferred to Temple University to earn her bachelor's degree in business. Today, she brings that same high energy leadership to her most important roles yet as a dedicated stay-at-home mom and a successful self-employed founder and brand developer. Please give a warm welcome to one of my favorite Manor College alumni, Sarah Gilbert. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thanks so much for being with us today. So,
Yeah.
Sarah, start us off by sharing, how did you first learn about Manor and why did you choose to ultimately attend?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure my mom was the first one that told me about Manor. I graduated from high school and then I took a gap year, so a year off from college or from school before I decided to go to college. And honestly, I think I was a little like not even sure I wanted to go to college. Like high school just wasn't really my jam. Had started my own muffin baking business, so I was really enjoying being entrepreneurial, having my own business. And I guess I was doing okay with it, but it was just like out of my home kitchen. And I kind of felt like I got to a point where I was like, I need more customers, but I really don't know how to get more customers. Felt like I just kind of reached as far as I could get without knowing some business knowledge. And that was what kind of spurred me to go to Manor. Again, I think my mom, like, kind of seeing me being like, what do I do next? Like, both my parents, well, my mom does not have business experience. My dad actually had his own business a while ago, but like, not in baking and marketing and stuff like that. So I guess she encouraged me to go back because she really was like, I don't know, you go to college and figure it out. So that's really why I chose Manor, and it was close to home. So the original plan was I was going to continue my business while going to Manor.
Oh, that's awesome. I remember now the muffin business. I kind of forgot about that, but I remember us doing a story about you, possibly about the gap year, because that was, frankly, kind of groundbreaking. I mean, this is over 10 years
Yeah.
ago. That was really cool to have a student who not only took a gap year but did it to run a company themselves. And remember, your muffins had really unique flavor. Like they were healthy
Yeah,
muffins,
like
right, or something.
yeah,
Really
yeah.
unique flavors.
Mm.
Very cool. Yeah, and I love, obviously, I always love it when a mom or a parent recommends Manor. We hear that so often. So
Mhm.
often it's families, moms, aunts, sisters, particularly women, are encouraging their family members to go to college and recommending Manor. I think it's the small family atmosphere that they're drawn to, and they know that their child will be successful
Yeah,
in that kind of atmosphere because it feels like home.
yeah.
So love hearing that. Thank you,
Yeah.
Mrs. Clymer. That's wonderful. So Sarah, when you came to Manor, um, you wasted no time getting fully involved. What was like the drive to get you motivated and like, you know what, I'm leaning in, I'm doing college full tilt? What was kind of like your motivation to have that perspective on your time in college?
Honestly, I think it was like my high school and just the culture at my high school. It was very like you played 3 sports a year, like year-round sports, and you were involved in all the activities. And it was mostly, I think, because we didn't have enough students for you only to play one sport. It was like for us to have year-round sports, we needed all of the students, all the girls to play year-round sports. And I think I felt that still at Manor. It was like, if we want to have these clubs, we need people to be involved in them all. So I just joined all of them so that there were people involved in the clubs.
Yeah. No.
And I will say my planner is like very motivating too, of like keeping track of things. And I just loved having like the full schedule and like checking off things and just getting stuff done is just very fun to me. To-do lists are my jam. So
Spoken like a true type A person right there. Yes. I remember your planner. Oh my gosh, Sarah, this is
yeah,
bringing me back. So, for our listeners and viewers, Sarah was an intern of mine in the marketing team. So, I got to know Sarah and work very closely with her during her time because she added internship to her things to do. And I now remember your planner and it being very meticulous and the checking off. And it was a paper planner, right? It wasn't like a Google Calendar or anything. It was like a paper,
yeah,
like a
multiple
book.
times. Yeah. I still use paper. Multiple times
Okay.
I've tried Google, I've tried like apps on my phone. They just don't work for me. I mean, like, I guess if I had to, but it just doesn't click. I just need to be able to see it all like laid out. Yeah.
That's good. That's a good like pro tip right there. Write it out, and the satisfaction of like crossing it out or whatever, a check is very satisfying. I do agree with
Yeah.
that.
And I think that writing it down
That's
is part of what
right.
sticks it in my brain because I'm not, if
Mhm.
I just like hear something, I definitely do not process it. It has to be like I need to read it for me to process it. So I think also just knowing the way my brain works, like some people are auditory learners or visual. I'm definitely not auditory and I have to see it.
Yeah.
So
Yep. Yep. I'm the same way.
yeah.
That's great. That's so cool. So, kind of take us through like what was your Manor experience like on the academic side of the house? Obviously, you were very social and involved in a lot of activities, but like what about your degree? You were studying for business, and then how do you feel like you were prepared to transfer to a much larger institution, still studying business, but how did it kind of prepare you for that?
Um, so first I'll say I started out as business administration and I actually talked to Elena, one of my, well, she was a year above me, but she was business management. And when I heard that, I was like, oh, you know what? Actually, business management kind of sounds more like what I would be interested in rather than the business admin. It was very slight differences, but I made that change before transferring. And then when I transferred, I actually decided to major in marketing. Um, and I'd say that it was a tough transition. I actually wrote a blog about it. That was something else that I did, just to like help other transfer students because there's so many things like you take your classes, but then the other schools like, no, you have to take that class here. Like a couple transfer, but it's really a tricky like um, transferring. Like I ended up losing a lot of credits just because the other school wanted me to take their class. So I wrote a whole blog about that, and but I think that like having the foundation of being involved really helped when I went to a bigger college because I knew like, well, I was already at this other college and I did all of the things. So I think I had more confidence going into the next school as a transfer student. Like going in as like a junior is tough too, because I was put in a room with like a in the dorm with a freshman, which is like I feel like in college there's like 2 year difference is a huge
Yeah.
difference, and I was already a little older to begin with because I had taken that gap year. So like that was a little tricky of like, I was over 21 and she was under 21, and it was just a big difference.
Yeah.
Um,
Socially different.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Like she was great and we, got along well and stuff, but going in, it was kind of hard to make friends, but having that confidence from Manor, I think helped.
Mm-hmm.
I got involved with, I think it was like a school newspaper and some articles for that. And that
Mm-hmm.
was just a nice way to meet people without like, I don't know, just I had the confidence to get
Yeah.
involved at a bigger school where I might not
Yeah.
have otherwise.
Yeah, you kind of have to go in like, I don't know anybody. I'm older. I'm coming in while everyone else is already, I'm coming in halfway through a 4-year experience here. So having a little confidence in your back pocket
Yeah.
certainly I think would be needed to
Mhm.
feel comfortable and to kind of, you're not at Manor anymore. You're not like in the comfort of a place that you were really comfortable at.
Yeah.
So that's good to hear that you
And they
felt
already,
prepared. It sounds like, but
yeah.
maybe still a little unsure.
Yeah. And like they, going into juniors, like all the juniors already had friends or whatever, but like the freshmen are the ones who are making friends with like having team building exercises and stuff. And yeah, it was
Yeah.
just a weird dynamic transferring.
Yeah. Yeah. It is a weird dynamic,
Yeah.
And you were a student at the time where Manor, we didn't offer 4-year degrees yet. We offered them in 2018. And we've seen, a big reason why we started offering them was because we heard from students so many times for so many years, like, please offer bachelor degrees so I don't have to transfer. So I could just stay at Manor because I start a foundation here and then I have to leave. So um, luckily now for students, they can just stay here and they can get business management here, or they can get, we have marketing. We're actually starting a new degree this year called digital marketing, and it's a hybrid degree. You can offer it, you can earn it either online or in person or with hybrid classes. So we're definitely seeing more and more students every year graduate with a bachelor's degree, which has been really exciting for us.
Yeah, I really wish Manor had like 4 year bachelor degrees when I was there, because
Yeah.
I feel like I was just getting going. And like, I mean, I honestly, even though I transferred, I still kept coming back to Manor, like to see people and to work. And like,
Yeah.
yeah, it would have been so much better if I could have just
I
stayed.
know. I know. But we're so grateful that you were able to come back. And it was really, we see that a lot of our alumni, they still certainly feel an attachment here to Manor, which is really special. It's something that we definitely don't take for granted. So kind of talk us through what things you've done in your career, and kind of what it's been like applying a business and a marketing degree to your career, and kind of where your passions have fallen with your career wise.
Yeah. So well, I guess even before I graduated, because I had taken that gap year, my boyfriend at the time ended up going overseas to play professional basketball. And while he was over there were a few years where we weren't married yet, so I would just visit and then come back. So I was doing, I guess, finishing up my degree. I think I was interning with you a bit still,
Mm-hmm.
babysitting, doing all the things. And then once we got married, then I went full time overseas with him, um, different European countries every year. So I was never in like one place to have like a normal full time job. And then in the summer times too, we would come back to the States. Um, so I was really just doing my own thing for years. I still am, but um, so I don't even remember all the things I've tried. I did. I guess I started doing freelancing digital marketing. So I love that degree you guys are offering now because that's really nice.
Mm-hmm.
I did that for a while. Then I was doing some fitness coaching. I don't remember what else. Lots of things. A lot of stuff has been like, I would say, regardless of what the topic of the business was, it was always like using social media to reach people and to grow my business, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
From And then I guess later too, I was doing stuff like for Instagram, like growing Instagram accounts, but like with real followers, not like nowadays they do
Bots. Mm-hmm.
all that stuff. So
Yeah.
I was helping some people with that. I was trying to do some like business coaching stuff with like people that don't understand social media, trying to teach them about that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you probably remember more of what I've
I
done.
mean, it sounds like everything that you've done I would say can like be categorized in like helping people brand themselves,
Mm,
regardless if it's a coaching role or social media or marketing or fitness, whatever. But like you're teaching people why branding's important
yeah.
and then how to apply that branding to then market yourself, market your product, market your business. That's what I, because I know like you've had to keep trying different, and I think it's really inspiring that you've tried so many different business avenues because of the like you are being a supportive girlfriend, a supportive wife. Like, you know, your husband, he's kind of got the job where like you just can't have a normal 9 to 5. You have to be flexible.
Mhm.
And I think that's really telling, frankly, to like you and your relationship with him, and really supportive and like super sweet. Because like it's hard to put your career on hold. It's hard to really not take that role of like, oh, I'm because like you're super entrepreneurial, you're very motivated, you're obviously very type A. Like you would thrive in a classic 9 to 5 environment. But like you value your relationship with him more. And that's, I think, really cool to see that kind of live out. So out of all the roles that you've had so far, has there been like a favorite or like any one that stood out that's like, oh, that one, you know, if I could go back to that or maybe keep doing that, that one was really fun. I'm really passionate about that one.
Yeah. So most recently, I guess I realized like over like time and time again, it was like I would create this business, and yeah, I loved the branding part, coming up with the business idea, like the initial startup, kind of like the hard part, I feel like, of the business, like the tons of work in the beginning part.
Right.
Um, but I love that part. And I think that over time, it was like I would start a business, and then as soon as it was like set up and it was time to like find clients, I was kind of like, next thing, you know? And I
Yeah.
kind of started to realize this pattern of starting a business and then moving on to the next thing, and I'd start a business and move on to the next thing. So,
Yeah.
most recently, what I did and what I think is probably my favorite thing so far is I had a print on demand business, and it was baking puns on apparel. So, like, don't go baking my heart, but I would make
Mm-hmm.
the little design and put it on a shirt, and then it's print on demand, so I didn't have any inventory, but
Right.
I had a supplier that would print it for me and ship it directly to the customers, and I just got to make the designs, and I loved the design part. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I worked on that, and because I loved it so much, I did actually grow it for like 6 months, which for me, that's a long time, like to stick to one thing. I was like, wow, look at me go, you know? Um, but then after the 6 months, I was pregnant with my second child, and kind of like, okay, I've been doing this for a while, and was starting to feel a little like, and I knew like having her and then having two, I was like, haven't had two before, obviously, so I'm not sure how that's
Mm-hmm.
going to go. And I was feeling like, okay, I'm about done with this, but it actually had done very well. So I didn't want to just have it like die off and have nothing happen with it. And I had a lot of customers that really liked the designs and products, and I spent a lot of time building it and all the things. So I think I went to ChatGPT and was like, can I sell this? Because you hear about these $1 million businesses selling
Yeah.
for, however much money and millions of dollars,
Right.
I guess. But it's like, this is not $1 million business. This is like, I mean, maybe eventually if someone grows it, but like, this is just my little part-time thing I was doing. Literally, it was during nap times and after my son went to bed.
Yeah.
That I would work on it while we were in Luxembourg, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and just using digital marketing. And so it took like 6 months, I think, to sell it. But I found somebody online that I used a website called Flippa. You put your website with like your stats and everything. And then, yeah, it took 6 months. Honestly, I got a lot of messages of like
Wow.
spammy people that I honestly kind
Mm-hmm.
of stopped reading the messages because I was like,
Yeah.
whatever. Uh,
Yeah.
but then 6 months later, I got like someone actually made an offer, and I was like, wait, like you're serious? You actually have money? So that was kind of like what? That was just in
Yeah.
June that that happened. So then we like transferred over. He actually wants me to continue making designs for him, which is my favorite
Mm-hmm.
part. So I was like, absolutely. Plus, that's even better for working during nap time
Yeah.
and trying to build a
Yeah.
business. Um, so I'm going to continue designing for him. And then I was like, well, that's only 2 designs a month. Like I still have, feel like I want a little bit more going on than just that. So
Yeah.
I was thinking about maybe doing graphic design, um, like print on demand designs for other people. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't have like Photoshop and Illustrator experience. So
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people like on Upwork, I made an Upwork profile. They were like, for the requirements, they want you to know Photoshop and Illustrator. I just use
Yeah.
Canva. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I kind of was like, you know what? Why am I trying to like struggling here to find clients? I'll just build my own business again and sell it again. So that's where I'm at. Is I'm working on building a second business now, print on demand again, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to list it on Flippa and see if someone buys it. And I think this time, because I'm realizing like I just love that initial branding phase,
Mm-hmm.
the designs, and like putting it on Shopify for somebody to purchase. I think I'm just going to
Mm-hmm.
do that. I'm not even going to bother finding customers, necessarily selling the product, and I'll just hand it off as soon as it's all branded and set up. And the
Mm-hmm.
next person can run with it, and handle like Facebook ads, which are just
Mm-hmm.
challenging to me. I've never really done
Mm-hmm.
well with those. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm really excited about it. And I'm, if one doesn't sell, I'll just keep building them. And if two out of the three sell or one out of the three, like I'm still just having fun and hopefully make something with it. And we'll see how it goes. So
Yeah, I love that. Little nap time projects. I mean,
yeah.
that's really cool. Wow, I love that. Thank you for sharing all of that. So how has it been balancing like being a stay-at-home mom and like that's your focus, but then also like being self-employed and like having some boundaries between the two? How has that been?
Um, I will say that I have a lot of help with my mom and my husband, both help me out a lot with the kids. Um, but also just like when the kids are awake, I make sure I do stuff that I can do while they're awake. Or like when they're asleep, I sit at my computer and do work because that's something
Right.
that my son obviously wants to help me type
Mm-hmm.
every time I open the computer. So working is definitely like nap time is when I get work done.
Yeah.
I tried to kind of coordinate both of their naps at the same time because my son is old enough. He's 3.5 now. So he's a little more flexible in when he takes his nap. So I try to do it whenever she's taking her nap, so that I get that downtime.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to be strict about go to bed at bedtime, like when I put them down, not to do work, because otherwise I get
Mm-hmm.
all revved up into work and I'm so
Mm-hmm.
excited and I'm up until midnight doing work. And then I'm like, ooh, now I'm up at, 5, 6 a.m. So
Yeah.
and I need a lot of sleep too. So
Yeah.
yeah.
But it's so cool to hear that. Like, I think it's important for moms, particularly whether you're stay at home or you're working or you're part time, like to do something that fuels you in a different way. Because obviously, like, kids are fulfilling, but also draining, you know? So, like, having something that's a creative outlet, something that is really not involves the kids, something that's like just for mom to do, whether that's a workout, whether that's a creative project or craft or something. That's really cool to hear that you're still finding ways to do that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So Sarah, what advice would you give to college students today about how to make the most of their college experience? What's your top piece of advice?
Obviously get involved. That's like a, yeah. So get involved and also like, don't be afraid to try things. Um, and try things both in college and also when you graduate. Because I just kept trying things and trying things. And I mean, I graduated Manor in 2015. I think after I transferred, I graduated in probably 2018 and or maybe 2019, something like that. But it's like been years where I've just been trying different things. And I was starting to get a little discouraged because it's like I just keep doing these things and then they like don't take off. But really, I give up before I give them a chance to take off. And um, I feel like I finally found something that like I'm really excited about and that will actually work with my lifestyle of moving and having kids and like I guess also finding out your strengths, like
Mm-hmm.
knowing that I need a planner and I'm a visual learner, not auditory, and knowing that okay, I like the startup phase of a business and like I feel like so many times I was like, how do I like I love being entrepreneurial or like coming up with ideas. Like how can I make money off of that? How can I get paid to do that? And one, I feel like ChatGPT makes it a lot easier now to like figure out like you can just talk to it and figure out like what your
Mm-hmm.
strengths are and how you can use those professionally or whatever. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, uh,
Yeah. I mean, getting involved is a great advice for obviously college students, but also like trying new things is scary, but it's important. That's what college is for. If you mess up we're here to help you pick yourself up and figure it out. It's a great time to do that. And that's frankly like a safe space. So I love hearing that. What's like a favorite like Manor memory that you have? Because I know you were super involved, and Manor was definitely a special place for you. Do you have like a favorite memory? It doesn't have to be like super meaningful, but just like a fun memory that stands out, or a student activity trip or something kind of fun on that.
Honestly, it seems so like mundane, but I think just hanging out in Allie's office, that was just like the go-to spot. And like between classes, you got to use her bathroom rather than like the student bathrooms. We got like a private bathroom,
Yeah.
and just like getting to eat your snacks and talk. And like she was just always such a good listening ear. Um, to talk through everything. And then often it turned into like also planning our next event or like, and I just love
Hmm.
that community and atmosphere of like, we're having downtime, but like we're still being productive and like
Hmm.
having good conversations and stuff.
Hmm.
Like that. And like, I loved some of the student senate presentations that we did. Just feeling like we were making a difference on campus, and like that these like really legit people around campus actually like came and listened to us for this presentation
Hmm.
of like, look, we're the students, but they actually were listening to what we wanted changed around campus. So that was really cool too.
Yeah. I definitely hanging out in Allie's office. Allie Moots is our dean of students. She used to be the director of student engagement. Maybe I don't know if she was that when you were here,
Yeah.
possibly. So she has a different office now. Doesn't
Yeah.
have a private bathroom anymore in it, but it was definitely a highlight for a lot of people. And because also it was downtime, but like you also got stuff done. So you type A people really enjoy that. Um, but yeah, Manor is such a special place for so many because it just creates this environment of home and safe and family. And it's really, really special for a lot of people for all those reasons. And also the people that are here, the people that make it special because it's like your home away from home, your friends, your aunts, your cousins, kind of like we're all a big family. That's really cool. Well, Sarah, thank you so much for joining us today. It has been such a fun kind of trip down memory lane to hang out with you and to hear how you're just crushing it as a mom and as a wife, but also still finding time to explore your passions. And I just love hearing that for you and wishing you nothing but the best. And thank you for living out the Manor College mission. Our goal is to educate students to serve society effectively and compassionately, and you're doing that. You're doing that with your children. You're doing that with your business people you interact with. It's really cool to see you thrive, and just wishing you nothing but the best.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for tuning in today. If you like what you heard, listen and subscribe on Spotify or YouTube. Stay up to date with all new episodes by following Manor College on Instagram at Manor College. And that's a wrap on another episode of The Nest, stories about life after Manor College. Remember, Blue Jays, you belong here always.